I created 10 different characters based on star signs, goodies and baddies from all different backgrounds. It's now Aquarius season, so let's create a new character. We're in the same sketchbook as before, and I've got the colour pencils. What's the colour theme? Let's load up the Pinterest board. Also, can you tell that I kind of dyed my fringe purple? It's not as obvious as I thought it would be. I don't know, it's kind of cute. Don't get used to it though. I've actually batched a load of videos, so you're not going to see this fringe again until we film the next character, the final one, because I am working on creating my first shop. I'm so excited. And if you want to stay up to date and have a chit chat, why don't you come join the Discord that's down below? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about Aquarius. I don't know anyone that's that star sign, so we'll learn together. The colours are electric blue and neon, which is really interesting. Bright blue, orange, yellow, purple. Now I know Pisces is pink, purple, blue, so I might steer away from that a little bit. Maybe lean into more of the orange, yellow, purple with a little bit of light blue. These are the 3 that I've picked. Can you tell I'm really scared this isn't gonna fit in? I'm gonna colour this in a little bit in the colours of an Aquarius. I love how every single character has such different colours. I don't think I've ever used orange and purple together. This is gonna be a lot of fun. And the dates for an Aquarius are January 20th to February 18th. The symbol is kind of an odd one. It's like a load of zigzags, kind of like waves. It's okay, pretend you didn't see that. And interestingly enough, the archetype is the water bearer, even though their element is air. And whilst I was doing research for this one, I did see a lot of people online that didn't really understand what an Aquarius was, because a lot of their core traits would indicate that they're a water sign, and a lot of the art looks like they're a water sign. That's their ruling planet, but I don't think it's really going to be included much. And now let's take a look at some of their personality traits. There's a few strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, some of their strengths include that they are intelligent, original, open-minded with good social skills, independent, and an early adopter. As for the weaknesses, they are weird, unpredictable, impersonal, shy, and inflexible, which honestly are not really that bad. Like a weakness being weird, I think that generally means that they're good people. They are smart, they kind of keep to themselves, but they are good at socializing when they do. All things we can work with. Should we have a look at some art inspiration? Honestly, you might sense a theme. This one's very pretty. I love the way they've looped it around the dress, and I really love the style of this. Yeah, so for an air sign, it's very water leaning. Generally with air signs, their moods are a little bit more fluctuating, kind of like the wind. So I guess that's where it comes in, but there's still a lot of water elements. We'll go a lot more in detail over the traits later on. And whilst I do have an idea in mind, it's not a clear-cut idea. This is the hair type that I would like our character to have. Obviously, this is Pinterest in 2025, so I'm sure this person doesn't actually exist. I quite like the idea of doing a pose like this one, but the person would be holding the pot of water instead. Again, I had to find poses of people holding things. I love the outfit in this, the idea of them wearing dungarees. And there is a reason for this, which you'll find out in the story. That was super quick and probably didn't make any sense. So I'm gonna sketch it. And this is the sketch for our next character. Aquarius, a middle-aged woman carrying the pot of water, but I want to make sure to get clouds in the background just to prove that they're an air sign, as it seems like a lot of people under this sign didn't feel like that came across very much. So hopefully I'll try and get that across. Oh, I'm gonna go work on the sketch. I'll see you back here for the painting and the story. Since we're nearing the end of this star sign, zodiac, astrology, character design series, maybe we should have come up with a proper name for this at the beginning. As this is the second to last character, I thought we could do something a little bit different for this part. All of these characters are created as a collaboration between my partner and I. So for this episode, I thought I would explain the process behind how we actually create every single character inspired by star signs. signs. Bearing in mind that we both don't actually know what we're doing, we're just having fun. Well, anyway, Aquarius. The first thing we look at when creating each star sign character is, well, the star sign. Sometimes with characters like Scorpio and Gemini, the star sign essentially creates the character all by itself. Aquarius, on the other hand, the water carrier, what even is that? It's just a person. So we need to look deeper. Turns out every star sign has a ton of characteristics, but there are 3 main ones, according to Wikipedia. We're keeping this simple. A star sign has an element: fire, water, earth, and air. Then it has something called a modality: cardinal, fixed, or mutable. And they're either positive or negative. These 3 things make up each star sign. Aquarius has the element of air, not water. This apparently does cause controversy for the Aquarians, the people born under Aquarius, as it's often not represented in the art at all. Being the water carrier, people would assume that their element is water, just like I did. But it's an air sign, which means they are sociable, care about relationships, and have big goals to achieve. They are dreamers. Aquarius is also a fixed sign, meaning they are inflexible and resistant to change. Essentially, they are very strong-willed. These are 2 characteristics that we'll definitely be using. The final of the 3 points, whether they are positive or negative. It's called the polarity of the sign's energy, and this is one we rarely use as it doesn't have that much impact. Aquarius is positive, meaning they are expressive rather than receptive. They enact instead of reacting. Next, this part mainly comes from me and doesn't really have much to do with the star signs. I think of what I would like to paint. I enjoy painting portraits of all varieties and would like each to look different from each other. I want this world that we've created to be full of a wide range of individuals. Young people like Aries and Scorpio, slightly older with Gemini and Cancer, and even some more mythical ones too, like Leo, Sagittarius, and Virgo, the mermaid, fairy, and god. So this time around, I knew I wanted to draw a slightly older, more curvy woman, which gave us the template for Aquarius. This isn't the approach I had at the beginning, but since we have created 10 characters, it's an important part now. They all need to look different, and after this, there's only Pisces left, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the last character. And finally, if all of that hasn't inspired the character and their story, we go a bit more subjective, researching across various horoscope websites, finding fictional characters of those star signs, and even using the base myth or legend of each sign. We tend to keep the videos concise and under 20 minutes, but there is a lot more information out there. For Aquarius, we found that the water bearer comes from the Greek legend of Ganymede, who is a cupbearer for the gods. Astrology and horoscope sites say that Aquarians are independent, progressive, rebellious, and are often outcasts, being considered weird. But this is just their independent nature coming out. One thing which really stood out to us though is that rebellious trait, the fact that they don't like tradition or authority, especially when they don't agree with it. Since this is the 11th character, we need to compare it with the other OCs in this series. Do any of them link together? Like Aries and Taurus being childhood best friends, Gemini and Sagittarius living in the same woods, Leo and Capricorn coming from the same mermaid kingdom. For this one, it came from an unexpected source. It came from the first episode in my new daily Doodle Diary. I created art every day of 2024, and now we've just started year 2, and I used rice to create a map. I've never done this before, but it was a lot of fun. And now all the characters have a home, a location that we can refer to. And that's where I found this gap. There's a small town in the farmland where no characters are present. I'd already planned in my head where everyone would go, and I had to fill in this gap, so obviously that's where Aquarius is gonna be, since they are the water bearer. That's the process. That's how we created each character in this series. So let's piece it all together to find Aquarius. Our Aquarius was born without magic, a simple girl leading a simple life. She lived in the farmland and spent her days collecting fresh water from the river for her ailing parents who didn't have the strength to do so themselves. She helped where she could, but felt there was something missing, that there was more to the world. She went to school, she had friends, but one thing always made her an outsider. She simply did not understand why the other children would pick on non-humans. So what if the little girl had horns, or if that boy was half horse? They could still answer the same questions in class. They liked to play games and didn't like homework. So it was quite simple for Aquarius to stand up for them. But this did mean that Aquarius also got bullied. Not that she minded. In her eyes, she was simply right and they were wrong. If that meant she had to be an outsider, then so be it. As Aquarius grew, so did this rebellious nature. It was no longer name-calling in the playground, but outright prejudice. And the bullies were no longer the bigger kids, but the establishments. After her parents passed, Aquarius would spend many a night in the sheriff's cells for causing a disturbance. After one too many nights in a cell, Aquarius realized her age was catching up with her. She couldn't bounce back as she used to. As a hot-headed teenager, she lived outside the town, and as she aged, she caused less and less trouble. At least, less obvious trouble. She was clever, still fighting for what she believed in, equality for everyone. Then one day she heard that a young merperson in a small town in the hills was trying to win the hearts of both the common folk and the rulers, with talks of peace and prosperity. Aquarius didn't even know there were merfolk who ventured this far inland. She had never seen one. Still, she thought it was admirable, but rather naive. There was only one way to bring equality to the people, and that wouldn't happen with the current rulers in charge. This mindset became a potential reality on one very misty morning. Whilst Aquarius was on a walk along the river, collecting the water, she heard crying. In the middle of what was essentially a muddy puddle lay a mermaid, sobbing. This poor girl had been banished by the elders of her tribe over a lie. Aquarius immediately set about making things right for this young mermaid and saw a potential tool to bring about real change. Capricorn, on the other hand, was hesitant, but realized Aquarius could help her get revenge on those who had wronged her. Whilst Aquarius didn't have any magic herself, she understood how the world worked, how its energy flowed. If she hadn't been too busy causing chaos, Aquarius could have easily gone to university to study the theory of magic, but instead her skills were used to help Capricorn develop new and powerful spells. Spells suited for her new environment, the dirty and barren marshland up north. They worked together, building up their combined strength, an alliance of sorts. Aquarius finally had an opportunity to make the real change she so desired, with the help of her new friend, of course. And this is Aquarius. It was about this point in the painting that I realized I might have accidentally drawn a hobbit. That wasn't the intention. I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit more about the process that goes into creating these characters. You can catch every one in the playlist, and there's only one left now. And I'll see you back here on Thursday for a new video. Bye bye.